And boom. Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Who's That Annie with your host Stephen Collin. We are back.
Yes.
You might not notice it if you've been only watching the videos on the YouTube channel, for it's only been a week, and there's been times when I haven't always uploaded in time. But now we're back.
Yes, the 3-week deficit is lost.
We're now minus 1 week death.
Yes. Yes.
Now it's going to be podcast and episode aired at the same time in unison.
Yes. Beamed directly into your brains.
Beamed directly into your brains. Yeah. Anyway, so this time round, we finished Chainsaw Man. It was ended last episode, and we're moving on to Trigun Stampede.
Yes.
Is not the 90s, 2000s.
No. Do you have history with Trigun?
Do I have history with Trigun?
Mm-hmm.
You could say I have watched it. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I guess that counts. Yeah.
Are you saying that, like, do you have history with Trigun? Did, like, someone throw Trigun DVDs at me or something? Or
yeah. Do you have Trigun DVDs?
I don't actually know. I bought them from a mate, though.
I have some exceptionally bootleg Trigun DVDs that I got from Amazon 20 years ago.
Yes, I think I maybe purchased the same things for him.
The cardboard fold out with the plastic sleeve.
Yeah, I think it was something along similar. Yeah.
Yeah, I have several bootleg anime DVDs in the same format. I think my Serial Experiments Lane is in the same format. My Hellsing discs are in the same format, and I think my Escaflowne ones are in the same format.
That's a good format, as long as they work.
Hey, they were region free.
Yeah, I think his were too.
They didn't work in an original Xbox DVD drive, though. Not completely.
No?
No, weirdly, the color channel was lost, so you just get black and white.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a really odd thing.
Yeah.
So I never did figure out what that was.
You had dodgy DVDs.
I mean, yes, that is... There's no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And it's probably down to the encoding of them.
But yeah, probably.
So, yeah, I have Trigun.
Mm-hmm.
Even more dodgy than Steve.
I see.
Watched that 20 years ago.
It's been a long time since I've watched it.
And now they rebooted it to Trigun Stampede.
I think it's interesting because I think like Hellsing was one of the things that kind of got me back into anime. Well, not back into it, but like sort of persisted my enjoyment of it. But I'd never really liked stuff with too much humor. I think growing up in the 90s and watching anime, that was kind of a given because you got, Fist of the North Star and Devilman and stuff like that was not humorous.
It was.
Akira, Vampire Hunter D, like a lot of the stuff I was watching was like edgy and sort of suited for my teenage brain.
Yeah, but
Ninja Scroll.
I mean, Fist of the North Stars was full on cheese, man.
Oh, cheese, yes, but never intentionally trying to be funny. Whereas I think that was the difference with Trigun. It was, I think, the first thing I had watched where they had deliberately infused humor into it.
right. Yeah.
Like, it wasn't the biggest part of it, but it was very prevalent.
Yeah.
Because of course, like, it was still an action anime, like sci-fi western type thing.
Yeah.
Reminded me of the time of Lone Star. Remember Lone Star?
Was that the? Yeah, and it had the cat girl in it.
Yeah, Speed of the Puma, Strength of the Bear.
Oh no! Wait, no.
That one.
I remember Lone Star. Yeah, Lone Star. Brave Star. Not Brave Star. You
Brave
think?
Star. Sorry, Brave Star. That's what I mean. Yeah.
No wonder I didn't
Yeah.
get what
Sorry.
you're on
Sorry.
about.
I knew I had
Brave
star at the end of it.
Star.
That's it. That's it.
Brave
Yeah.
Star.
I think that's the most on key you've ever been musically.
Speed of a Puma.
But I think the world building reminded me of it, because like that was a kind of a darker kids show.
Oh yeah, they had weird dark kids shows back at that point because like
What
you
was
had
the same
Highlander
dude
up
that
with
did
it.
He-Man, right? Oh yeah, shit.
It might have been. I certainly had the
I'm pretty
same.
sure it was it Lou Schreiber or whatever the dude that created He-Man was called.
I
Used to have his name would come in sparkly letters at the end of the episode.
oh yeah, in the star I think shape.
Yeah, but
Fancy.
yeah, like that was my kind of my thing. Was it was the first time I think I'd ever had any sort of a reason to laugh, and then like the next thing was Naruto, which was full of like dopey stuff, and that kind of made me realize that I think anime is more than just a medium to do sort of edgy, violent things.
Yeah, certainly moved away from that. It's now come to edgy edgelords things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and Trigun never really fell into that category.
No,
Never had that stipulation on
no,
it.
I really enjoyed it. I never read it. I went to have a look and see if they had any new releases of the manga, like like the Hellsing ones I bought or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really wouldn't mind reading it, but it doesn't look as if it's been in print for years.
It's possible. I don't know what happened. I was reading somewhere that it never took off in Japan. It was more
That's a
a
shame.
Western anime, like one of the first animes that it kind of like was heavily influenced by the Western audience.
I guess I can get that.
I mean, I'd read that, and by that I'm going to say it could be a totally false fact, and I just
Hey.
read a little snippet somewhere about it, or I heard it on YouTube.
I think that's okay. Like, to be fair though, I could kind of see that.
Yeah,
Like, it's definitely different to the other anime I was watching at the time.
yeah. I suppose it was slightly different from me. What was I watching that then? Nah. I remember that time I was watching Chariot and stuff like that. Remember Chariot?
See, I yes, I'd never. Well, it's so here's the funny thing, right? Is that
Uh-huh.
I I I watched well, Pokemon and Digimon to a degree, and a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I watched Tenchi Muyo, which and like Ranma One Half,
Yeah.
and a lot of Sailor Moon, like all of those that had elements of humor in them,
Mhm.
but I didn't associate them with anime because of where I was digesting them from.
All right. Okay. Well, Tsunami on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, well, I mean, before then it was like it was Fox Kids, and it was on Sky One, and so like these were the anime to me was very specifically those movies.
Yeah, but then I suppose my first realization of anime was Dominion Tank Police.
Yes,
And
yes.
that, sure, it was kind of edgy and futuristic and cyberpunky, but it was just fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's just stupid because it's like a whole like, oh yeah, it's kind of like what maybe you can see what America's doing at the moment is like more guns, save the world, and then when the criminals get better guns, you have to get better guns.
You get more guns,
Yeah, and now they went to tanks for the police force, and
which
they
makes sense. I mean,
and
it's
they
a
just
logical progression.
yeah, and they just destroy the city. I get shouted out by the chief because it's like, you did what?
I mean that's also quite natural.
Have you
But
ever watched them?
I've seen bits and pieces. It's never been something I've watched
That's what we're watching, man.
specifically. Yeah, I like the
Yeah,
other ones like that I was kind of that I'm missing out on. Like I years and years and years ago I watched Evangelion and I haven't watched it since. And I'd love to go back and watch it again.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's more a time thing, and like it's very dated now. But I think like conceptually, it still does a lot. Like reading, it's one of those things where I probably didn't appreciate it to the degree I could have done.
It's
Watching it now,
confusion. It's like, oh yeah, the big mechs. The mechs are fighting these alien things that are like the second coming, but you don't realize that, and then you realize that Rey comes like it comes in second coming, and Rey is also a clone of Shinji's mother or something.
yeah,
It's
it all
up.
gets mad. Yes,
And then at the end, it's like a big fucking Rey head and comes in the world and asking Shinji what he wants to do because Shinji's like a depressed kid. Fucking whingy bastard though. Fucking hate him.
yeah, you kind of get it though, right?
I get why he's a whingy bastard, but he's just not a likable character.
Yeah. Well, like going back to Trigun, like I loved I'd never read it. I loved the first series a lot, but I was aware, sort of in a similar sense to the other stuff I was watching at the time, like Hellsing, that they had deviated quite greatly, I think, in their content from what the original material was. I think my understanding of Trigun Stampede is that it follows more closely to the books.
To the books. Maybe. I don't know, it's certainly different. Right off the bat.
Oh yeah. I don't want to spoil this, Colin.
Uh-huh.
I love this.
I mean, you just say that off air earlier. That
I know. So, should we just get into it?
Well, yeah. Why not? I think we've done a good 15 minutes there. So
yeah, on the history of Trigun and other things.
And us.
Yeah, and us. But yeah, episode 1 is called No Man's Land.
Was episode 1 of the original series called No Man's Land?
That is an interesting question, which I will find out now.
Because it sounds kind of familiar.
No. Episode 1 was the $60 billion $double man.
Oh, yeah, shit. Of course it is, because it was. And that episode starts off with a big bar fight.
Yes.
And
there are similarities here, because I think the bar is the same bar.
Might be the same place, but not the same place. Because the bar was just out in the middle of nowhere.
So is the bar... Well, okay, yeah, I guess
this is in a city and it's got... Anyways, we'll discuss the differences.
Yes.
That I remember. The episode starts off with someone going, and doing their best impressions of the Waltons.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Morning, John boy. Morning, Ma. Morning, Pa.
And in what looks like some sort of Udi that they've bought from Primark or wherever.
Yeah. Weird ass. Or maybe like the thing that the boxers come out gowns they have the big.
Oh yeah. I
A
can
big
see that.
cowl hood on their boxer's head and so anyway he's talking to
It looked comfy.
yeah he's just talking to a lot of frozen people in pods.
Yes. I think this is the it kind of zooms out to reveal that there's what is probably tens of thousands of different frozen people, and that they're on a ship, some sort of arc type thing.
Yeah,
that's transferring people from one place to another.
yeah. It's to be honest, the start of the episode it starts in space and you see these ships flying around. But then he's saying all this, and then suddenly explosions start happening, and he gets told to evacuate.
Yep.
And he
starts looking for his mum.
Starts looking for Ren.
Yeah.
And Knives. I think he looks for him
Knives.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's his brother.
Yes. Who's also wearing a cloak.
He's also wearing a cloak. And they're kids at this moment in time. Well, yeah, they're kids. And Ren's...
probably like 10, 11, maybe 12.
Yeah. And then they meet Ren and that, and they get ushered into a pod to escape, and says, don't panic. It's not anything major, honest. A big warning sirens going, please get to evacuation stations. Get to your evacuation pod right now, please. Exit.
Yeah.
Don't rush.
Rush, but don't rush.
Don't rush. And then so they get to the pod, and they're both nice, and Vash is in the pod.
Yep.
Yeah, I should mention the guy who was talking to them is Vash, the Stampede. Well, not yet.
Well, not yet. He's just Vash.
Just Vash, yeah. So they get into the pod, and Knives goes, there's room in here for you. Well, Ren. Yep. And Ren's like, no, don't be stupid. I love you guys. Yep. Bye.
So yes, yeah, you have said that correctly. There's room for you here. No, it's cool. And then they sort of start backing away, kind of going like, no, don't do that. And then there's a huge explosion that just engulfs her, and you're like, so what was the sacrifice for?
Well, only because I watched the original one back in 20 years ago. There's potential that she might not have been engulfed in flames.
Yeah. I mean, that was the only reason that I could think, and yes, I think you might be right.
I mean, just because going by the original one, that's something that happens. And then that kind of sends them off into space to land on this planet, and things crash down, but they don't see anything. And I think it cuts over to a car in the desert.
Well, can we very quickly? How do you feel about the animation?
Once again, it's very CGI'd.
Well, apparently it's all
CGI. Is it all CGI? Yeah,
it's all CGI. I mean, and I was going to say I thought it was quite interesting because I'm sure we've talked about this when we talked briefly about things like Attack on Titan, which is half and half. But Chainsaw Man as well. you know, like that thing, like the I think it's actually when Vash is running to one of the doors, and there's sort of that like kind of warping to his figure
Yeah,
as he's running, but that's kind of a hand drawn trope because it's about trying to scale a character based on an environment size as they change size.
yeah,
But I thought it was interesting that, because as far as I'm aware, that it's entirely in CG. So I thought that was a really interesting thing to see.
yeah.
Um,
I look at that again. And
but
there's some
yeah,
points when they do like it's weird because you can watch like a cartoon and not really
mhm,
pick up on it and go, oh wow, that's pretty cool type thing, and then watching like something that's trying to be a cartoon or anime
yep,
style, and it's CG because of the motion of the model within the
yep.
environment is
There's
like,
certain lighting as well, I think, that kind of gives it away, and there's a good example of that when they're in the ship that's kind of grinding along the outside of the bigger ship. The
yeah,
lighting on it just doesn't. There's something about it doesn't work for me. And I was going to say, like, I actually think the art style is very nice. I think it looks gorgeous. But for some reason, the ships, particularly that smaller one, really jarred me. I don't know why.
maybe it's more realistic light in effect because it's a 3D model, and
Possibly, like, yeah, I think it's less artistic interpretation of lighting, and more
yeah,
because it can actually use like light sources.
yeah,
So yeah, you're
yeah.
probably right.
Uh,
But yeah, you're right. They kind of after all that, yeah, they go down to the planet, and then did they not have like a conversation
no,
at that point, or is that later in the episode?
there's a
Cuts
flashback
back to that.
like
Yeah. Okay.
pretty much at the end because
Yeah.
this is where you meet Meryl Stryfe and her rugged
Rugged alcoholic partner in crime.
yeah, who's what's this, Arndor or something.
So okay. their, their names,
Hmm.
right, are Meryl Stryfe,
Yeah,
which is definitely not Meryl Streep,
yeah,
and Roberto De Niro,
Roberto.
which is which is definitely not Robert De Niro.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. But at the same time, it was always Meryl Stryfe. She was like
Oh
even
yeah,
that was the character's name from the original. Where Roberto is a new person. He wasn't in
he
the
wasn't in
original.
the original.
No,
Yeah. Oh, well, I think to be fair though, I mean these are, if Roberto De Niro is actually in the original context of the books, then it seems likely that those are two actors of that period who would have been popular enough that you would want to kind of use their names to a degree. If you were thinking of Western names, you would maybe want to muck
Rob,
about with those.
Robert De Niro, Western. He's always been a gangster man.
Oh, I don't mean like Western, the genre. I just mean of the West. Like they were popular actors in the West.
Oh yeah. See,
Because like the other thing is interesting as well as Meryl Stryfe, because Stryfe is Cloud Strife
yeah,
from Final Fantasy VII as well, which I like. I don't know what the significance of the name Strife is, if there is any, but it constantly it seems to show up.
yeah. It's I don't know. Maybe it was just a nod to Final Fantasy VII because that came out a few years before.
It could have been a callback to the manga.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. It's interesting names. So this is where it kind of this is how well again differs from the original first
Hmm.
episode because Meryl had was it Millie was her
Millie, yeah,
counterpart and she was like a tall lady and didn't wasn't the brightest. Anyway,
yep.
saw the good in everyone. I adore her.
That's never a good thing to do.
It works out in the original.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But yeah, so Meryl in this circumstance, yeah, she's the budding journalist who's been taken under the wing of Roberto.
Newbie.
Yeah, the newbie. But her name's not Newbie. Her name is Meryl.
Yeah, and
She's top of her class. goddammit.
Yeah,
Meryl.
Meryl. Yeah, she's very upset that Roberto just keeps calling her Newbie. All right, Newbie. Says, "Quit drinking on the job." Ah, shut up, Newbie.
Yeah.
And then she shows her like CV to him, and it's like, "Yeah, that's great," and he just wipes his nose in it.
He is exceptionally dismissive of her credentials or who she is entirely. He gives no fucks about it.
He doesn't give a fuck about it.
No, about anything, quite frankly.
Yeah,
that's fair.
He's so they're traveling along in this car, and then the batteries run out in it. I was like, oh shit, I didn't charge up the batteries. Yeah, it's blazing sunlight. Surely there'd be a solar panel on that thing, but
you would think so, but no.
No. Yeah. So they run out in the middle of the desert, and they come across a tree in the middle of the desert with three figures hanging on it.
It's quite grim.
Two are most certainly dead as their skeletons.
In quotes, very deceased.
Very deceased. And the third one has been has basically been pestered by buzzards, looking to feast on him when he dies or something. And then Roberto says, "Oh, this must be the work of this gang." And then Meryl goes off to investigate, because they also talk about how they're on a story to talk to Vash the Stampede or something.
Yeah, I think I don't know if they refer to him as Vash the Stampede at that point, or if they're talking about the humanoid typhoon, which is constantly banded about.
Yeah. And Roberto says, "Oh, human typhoon is the spells disaster for everyone. Wherever he goes, leaves a trail of carnage."
Because I think he has a file. I think the interesting thing is that I think the file, if I remember correctly, like the picture in it is the original Trigun Vash.
Yeah, it's the clearly drawn of the original one. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's kind of going like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's original like flat top Guile style
haircut. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so they find this figure hanging from the tree, and Meryl goes to investigate. And the figure goes, "Do you need a hand?" And provides his hand to her because he's got a robotic arm.
It just falls off,
and then he slowly spins around laughing manically.
It's such a great intro. I love it so much
because you just seen him manically laugh.
It's absolutely incredible. Like, it made me think of Okabe, like, immediately. But yeah, it's a really fun intro. And I love the fact that she's still panicking about the fact that she has a hand.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, this guy's a bit of a creep, right? That's all right." And then you're like, "Oh, don't leave me,
please
help me." And Meryl's like, "All right, I'll help you." You know, she just politely says she's a creep.
Yep. So yeah, they help him down, and then. Is it at this point when the coppers turn up?
Yeah, some military police of some sort.
Yeah, and she's like, "I'm gonna get their attention," and Roberto's like, "Absolutely not! Don't do that!
Don't do that shit."
But she's very adamant that she's going to speak to those police, and they're like, "Hey, so you seen this guy?" And they show a new wanted poster of I don't know if it's because I know it's $60 billion double dollars in the original. I think it's 60 million in this.
Uh, no, I think it's 6 million at the moment.
Is it 6? Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Well, it's millions of double dollars that his
Yeah.
warrant for his arrest is. So they're like, so hey, lots of money for you if you know where he is. And she's like, yeah, he and of course he's still hiding behind the tree that he's been cut down from.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, he went that way, and like just points off into the distance. And they're like, oh, why didn't you say that sooner? And they just abandon her.
Pretty much, but he was a bit nasty.
Oh yeah, he's a total dick the entire time.
Yeah. So anyway, then Meryl lassos Vash the Stampede.
No, now knowing that he is in fact Vash the Stampede, how lucky are they that they're going to do a story about the Great Humanoid Typhoon and they find him tied upside down from a tree?
Yeah. It's
great.
It's pretty good. I think that was in the first episode. I think he was tied up in the tree eventually in the first episode.
Yeah.
Of the original series. Anyway,
After the bar fight.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, don't hand me in. Don't hand me in. It's fine. It's like, oh, I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to get my first class interview with you. And I said, oh, an interview. Oh, then you can we can do it in a nice cold bar just around the corner.
Why didn't you say there was a bar? We could have been inside. And she's like, which way is it? And just like dragging him by the face across the sand.
Yeah.
It's so good. She is like, is it over this way? And like drags him and he's like, and she's like, maybe it's this way, and just keeps like changing direction. It's like, just let him answer.
Yeah.
Let him answer and he'll tell you where it is, please.
Yeah. Anyway, so they get to a bar.
Yeah, they go to
Genova
town.
Rock.
It's a bar in a town called Genora Rock. Yeah,
Genova Rock.
Genora. I think it's Geniora.
Oh, another Final Fantasy reference.
Oh, that would be Genova.
Genova? Oh, I mean, that's why
Yeah.
I'm getting it wrong.
Yes, potentially, because that's Sephiroth's mum.
Yeah, where he came from, or what he claims to be his mom.
Yeah, Genova. I think it's Genova. Pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it's the whole problem in that world. Anyway, so they go to this bar. Millie walks into the bar and goes,
No, not Millie.
"Not Millie, Meryl.
Meryl.
Gotta get that right." And Meryl's like 5 foot tall, so
Yes.
she walks into this bar, and someone in the background says, "We don't serve kids here."
Little girl.
Yeah, little girl. And she walks up to the bar lady and says, "Can I get something?" And the bar girl basically dismisses her and goes, "You got to speak up more here. I didn't quite hear you."
Yeah, there's a specific way she says it. It's like, if you want to be heard here, you're gonna need to speak up.
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Very dismissive. She doesn't like her straight away. So
yeah. And then Vash comes in, and then it's, "Hey, Rosa, Vash, what are you doing?" All right. And then it's like, "We're not going to serve this person." And it says, "Why not? They're my closest friends." And then she says, "You're all tied up." And it says, "No, I'm not."
Why are you tied up? No, I'm not. Ta-da!
And Rosa just almost just goes like this.
Fine.
Whatever you say,
But
Vash.
yeah, there's a whole exchange where he's like, "Oh, you look great," and I think because of course she's pregnant. This bartender.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, are you still with whatever the guy's name was?" And he's like, "Nope, left his ass." And he's like, that's the stuff." It's like, oh, okay. I hope the guy was an asshole at least.
Yeah. Oh, his third child as well. You sure?
Oh yeah. Oh god, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that part.
Yeah. And then
Um,
basically say that Vash is the savior of the town,
yep.
and so and Millie ends up ordering water, even though Roberto asked for whiskey.
Yep. He's
And
on the job. He can't be drinking on the job.
yeah, but at the same
Um,
time, the water is filthy.
yeah, because their filter thing
Mm-hmm.
is out of commission or is not working to full capacity.
The plant.
Did we mention that Roberto says that he is it ghost tech he calls it or something? Vash's arm.
Oh, yeah, I think it was just um, Tech of the Fallen, or is it something before the
Yeah,
fall?
it's yeah, and because the other thing is, of course, is that they reference that this generator is from that period as well, which
Mm-hmm.
is why Vash was able to help in the past because he's one of the only people who knows how to actually deal with it.
Yeah, well, because he has obviously survived the crash of the
Yeah.
spaceship and was on the spaceships where it came
I
from.
guess, are we to believe that the people that populate this planet are people that survived the crash of that ship?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's. I'm just going. Once again, I'm heavily biased because I've watched the original, and
Yeah,
that was part of the
the
story. That
the story. Yeah, I
um,
just trying to be clear. But yeah, I think that is what's going on here. Also, like
um,
I say, I have absolutely no clue what is from the story of the manga.
yeah, and
So
also kind of the story of Ren and why she stayed behind. Anyway,
yes,
uh, but that's probably a story for another episode,
that's a story for another day.
another day, partner. Uh, right. Um, so the other water, they basically say, "Oh, our plant is failing again. That's why we had
Yep.
to get water from another town." So Vash goes, "All right, I can have a look at that for you." And Roberto's like, "You wait, you? I didn't know you were a plant engineer." Oh yeah, I can do
Yeah.
this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they walk up into the plant, and this big plant, big glowy purple thing, big staircase around this glowy purple bit. And he gets to the top, and there's these two tubes with what look like two plants, and one's red
It's
and one's blue.
yeah. And
And
the blue one's okay.
yeah, and the red one is about to die or
Yeah.
something. Because Vash looks at it all serious and goes, "Well, that's red. That's not good. You'll need to
Yeah.
get a new one on that." And the story was like,
If you, yeah.
you can't really repair these because they're old tech, and
Yes.
all you can really do is pay an arm and a leg to buy a new one or steal. Uh, and then that's kind of the end of that discussion as
Yep.
it's interrupted by the captain
Dun, dun, dun.
of the military police of Genova.
Yep.
Uh,
They've caught up with them.
yeah, Vash, I found you. And then basically it was, so you can basically hand him over and get like the $6 million on his head,
Yep.
and he will save your day. Apparently, Vash also helped him with the plant before,
Yes.
a few years ago, which is why he's the savior of the town.
He's the savior of the town. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think she says to him, she's like, "Could you help us out again and take another look at the thing?"
Yeah,
That's when he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure." But yeah, they kind of cuff him and drag him over, and he's like, "Oh, can we maybe let's just not make this violent, guys," you know. And then it's like, beat his ass down.
no, they don't need to do that. It's more, it's like kind of okay. Don't need to make it violent, guys. And then it's like, yeah, okay, we don't want that. And the captain just comes and fucking sucker punches him in the chest, and
Yeah,
then throws him to
Then
his,
they go. Yeah.
with the other guys, and they just beat him with the butt of their rifles.
Oh, jeez.
Or
And
the-
kick him quite a lot as well.
Oh, it looks that way.
He doesn't seem overly fussed. He's more just like, hey, stop that.
Yeah, can we not do that?
Yeah.
And then Roberto steps in and is like, "Oh, I see you're just a fucking coward.
Yeah.
I'm a reporter here. That's not going to go end well. I can just report and say that you're like a big coward and not, just a bunch of bullies."
Yeah, beating an unarmed man and all
Yeah.
that because you're afraid.
Yeah,
That's not gonna sell too well. He's like, you know what you should do? You should settle this with a duel.
yeah,
He's like, actually, yeah, okay, fuck it. Let's settle it with a duel.
yeah. He got really into it. So when they
no.
untied him, it was at that point Roberto also noticed he had a sidearm and he says, "Oh, you a gunman?" He says, and Vash, not really that good. Really, sort of. I'm not that good.
Yep.
Damn.
He also, I think he says to him as well, something to the effect of, he's like, oh, I don't really like violence or anything like that, and he's like, well, because you don't seem like you scare too easy, but when you looked at that, when you looked at the plant, that scared the shit out of you.
I think that's after this, like the whole
Is that after this scene?
the commotion, because there's a scene where they're leaving the town, and you
Okay.
get the full on backstory there. Well,
Okay.
sort of. You get a flashback.
More.
You get a flashback, and then an introduction to someone. That's right. So, anyway, they get dragged out, and there's bets happening, and they're on top of this cliff in the middle of town, about to have a duel, and the leader of the military police basically goes, "All right, let's do it. You ready?" It's like, no, not really. Draw your weapon. I don't really feel like it. Can we not do this? This is stupid.
I really want to do this.
Yeah. This stupid. And then the commander officer goes, "Yeah, you're right. It is stupid." Unclips his gun,
His leg holster.
yeah, and chips it towards Vash, and then reveals that he's got a big rocket launcher in the back, and he's like, "Let's make it interesting." And he just bangs it in the air, and all you hear is like his squad members going, "Oh fuck, that's a cluster bomb! Get out of here, run!" So he fires it in there, and it just shatters into like a million like
smaller detonatable things.
Yeah, clusters.
Yep.
Vash is like, "Oh fuck," and then gets serious, and then he goes, "I'm going to do it," and he goes, what?
No bullets.
No bullets. No.
It is so gloriously comical. He's like, anyone? I just need a gun. Just need a bullet, please. Anyone? Ammunition. Anytime now, please.
Yeah. Your next door neighbor's dog.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Windows shut.
Yeah. So, and then, and then Roberto throws Meryl into this alleyway.
Like, just grabs her by the scruff of the neck and goes,
Yeah. No, you don't. You already got yourself killed 3 times already today.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Let's not do that. And then everyone else kind of shuts their windows, and the bar lady comes with something in her hand and says, "Okay, you need to do this." And then Meryl takes the bullet, runs out, and then huffs it up to this cliff.
Yep.
And then
special delivery.
Yeah, Vash is about to pick the bullet out of the hat, out there as they get shot away by the commander, who's somehow got his gun back.
What a dick.
And then he scrambles for it to go up and grabs the bullet.
He's running for a long time because it's like bouncing, and he's just like, like full pelt, just going for it. It's so good.
These cluster bombs are really slow.
They really are, like
incredibly
slow.
How far in the air did he go up?
2 to 3 miles.
Yeah. Anyway, so he gets the bullet. Commander then also catches up and goes to him and goes, "Aha! No, you don't." And then it starts like point blank range trying to shoot him.
Oh God!
And Vash is just like, "Nope, nope, nope, nope. Let's end this."
So good. It's so good. Like, it's so good. It's very difficult to tell you how much I loved that as an action sequence. Just this whole thing is like, it reminded me a little bit of the way Cowboy Bebop did its action sequences, where it's like this kind of clumsy yet highly efficient type of action.
Mm-hmm.
But that point blank, where it's just like, it's 3 bullets, it's like 1, 2, 3, and he just kind of goes nope, nope, nope.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It really is. I remember seeing it in the trailer and being like, oh, that looks real cool.
yeah, and then he beats him up and says,
oh yeah,
enough of that. I got to save this town.
Yeah, it just gives him a good swift punch to the midriff.
Yeah, he's only got 1 bullet.
Good revenge.
Yeah, he's only got 1 bullet.
Yup.
To fire out into space, and I think he was going to shoot, but then They realised that he couldn't do it with 1 bullet, so
they're already too far down. I think is maybe the issue in this circumstance.
Maybe. So anyway, with his robotic arm, he basically breaks a chunk of rock out the cliff face, flings that up, and then shoots that, and then miraculously that shatters, and the bullet ricochets off the rock and goes round.
I think it does. It ricochets, but I think it also breaks the rock into lots of different pieces.
Yeah, it's like
and it causes a domino effect of all the different things like bouncing out the way and smashing and exploding. In a very cool scene, actually, where it like does that kind of wide angle shot of him still looking upward, and just this huge explosion.
Yeah.
And then the shockwave coming down through the town.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy cool trick shot. Like like what you were talking about just before the episode started, where you were saying, you got Uncle Phil there, it's awesome. And that's the pool scene.
Yeah.
Or
the pool scene that with Giles' music makes it infinitely better.
Yeah. Oh man. It's just that seems good because it's just like Uncle Phil's, what's this cool pool stick thingy? And he's just like
he hustles them real bad.
Saying it's alright, let's double the ante. I don't think I could do. We need to make it a bit better for me to complain.
Yeah.
It's like, alright, let's do that. And then it's like, okay. And then he's just like, what was the butler called again? Jeeves. Is it Jeeves? No. I forgot his name.
Will Smith called him G-Man.
Yeah. I think it might be Jeeves.
No.
Jeffrey, break out the seal.
Yeah.
He's got his own key and everything, and just like runs the guy down. It's like,
That's so good.
Don't you ever like do this again to my nephew. And then Will says,
love that show.
Will Smith goes, yeah, don't, and then he's like, shout Will. And then there's a
Fresh
homeless.
Prince of Bel-Air is so good.
Was it his dad that took him to the pool hall? Will's dad, or
I don't think that's the same episode.
or because they certainly walk up to like some other guy
Maybe it is.
who's with Will, and says yeah, and he's like just stares him down dead. Oh man, Uncle Phil, R.I.P. man.
Yeah, James Avery was amazing,
And
amazing.
the voice of Shredder too. Anyway,
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, yes. Where were we?
oh,
He's punched. He's saved the town again.
yep,
From the cluster bomb that
yep.
the police uh, caused a problem with.
Military police, man.
Whoops.
Always the worst
Yeah, the
type of
military police. Yeah, you're right. That's very true.
Uh, apparently. So yeah, and that's it. And then just walking out the town, and basically this is when Roberto basically goes to Vash. It's like, oh yeah, you know what, Vash, you don't really care about the military police. You had no fear for them. Didn't the only time I saw you were concerned when you saw the red plant. How's that? You got some thing that you don't want people to know who you are type thing. Like you try and keep everything on the down low. And it's Vash then just goes, yeah, I got a brother. And it does a flashback.
But he says millions knives. Do you know him?
I think there's this flashback and then says that.
Oh, fair enough. Is the flashback? The flashback is the bit where Knives is stood atop the big rock, watching all of the stuff fall from space, kind of laughing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we've already characterized him quite well.
Yeah. He's just standing there watching it last and says, I killed them all and I saved the plant ship. It's the only one that'll survive. Ha 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 ha. And
That is deeply worrying.
Vash is a bit upset about that. And then I think it goes back to the thing is like, yes, Miles knives. Have you heard
Millions knives.
Millions knives. Or is that you? Or then does it cut to actually knives?
I think it actually might cut to him
Playing the piano.
Modern day. That's actually, you know what? I think it does, and I think that's kind of where the episode ends, right? Is
The name
it's they name him, and it does the close up of the statue above the piano.
Yeah, because
It's this weird, grotesque angel demon type thing.
yeah, and Nice is informed that they found Vash.
Yeah.
So how you found them? Aha, and it might be the buzzards because the buzzards seem to be flying away now. So,
yeah. You better tell me where. You better tell me where he is then.
yeah, I need to save them from the parasites before I can destroy them all.
Amazing.
And this time for real. Surely, yeah. So by the way you said that, that they are people that survived the ship,
Yeah.
and then that's the end of that episode.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
How are you feeling about this? How do you rate this first episode, Colin?
I don't know. It's good. It's good. Seems interesting. It certainly isn't like the original where they've obviously maybe were going hoping for maybe have a longer show. Maybe I think
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like come along with the original is like nah. There's Vash. He's fighting some bandits, and he's like some goofy guy, and then he isn't as useless as he thinks, but still isn't the expert gunman that he's shown off to be in this one.
Yeah. I think
he looks clumsy. He does things in a convincingly clumsy way that he got lucky.
he's
But
pretty clumsy in the first one.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's that's what.
Yeah.
In the first
you're
one,
right.
he's sold up, but this one he's actually showed to have skill.
Yeah. I think the thing about the first one, like, because the way I understand it is like the show, even though it's one series, I think it was done in two sets however many episodes.
Yeah.
And I think you're probably right that the first half of that series feels like fairly strong, and then I think the back half kind of rushes through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because like you didn't actually get introduced to like knives. You know, he's not running away from this guy. Like,
No.
and you only really start learning about him in like the later half of the show, and he only like appears for like one episode right at the very
Yeah,
end.
he's not in it much at all.
Yeah, except from
Um,
flashbacks where you obviously learn about his brother, but don't
yeah.
realize that he's like some evil. Well, except from the flashback, but yeah. But now this one is set straight off, like showing that they came from outer space. They've certainly put a lot more emphasis on like why they are here in the Western
Hmm.
and space age stuff. And feels maybe more less planned out to be a longer thing.
Well, I think it feels to me like there's only 10 episodes in this first season.
Yeah, definitely a second season coming.
I don't know. Uh, but I think you're right. It feels a little bit like they're be it knowing with the limited nature of the series, however it is, they're trying to make it come to more natural like boundaries around episodes and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh.
So what do you rate it then out of 10?
Mm, I think it's 7 at the moment. It's good. It's good. It's fun. But we'll go 7. A high
Okay.
7. It's
Okay.
it's interesting to see where this will go. I think
I'm gonna give it a 9 out the gate.
a 9. I mean, you
Yeah.
did say you loved the show like straight at the start.
I
I didn't
I
want to
watched the
spoil
first
anything.
episode. Now I watched the episode last night,
Hmm.
and I immediately was like, "Well, I'm gonna watch the next episode." I'm like, "Oh, I shouldn't watch the next one just yet." But yeah, it's definitely drawn me in, and I think I know there was some reservation around the animation and the new character style, and that it would be deviating from what people knew already. But it's closer to the manga, so maybe that's okay. But I think the new design of Vash is really good. I actually really like it. I think it's very contemporary now, which is cool.
Yeah.
I didn't hate the old design, but this feels like something that I would see in a more contemporary anime.
I It's a hell of a lot easier to cosplay. Play. Don't need as much gel.
Nope, nope, that is true. But yeah, I really like this. I think it's very funny. Um,
Hmm.
it's very clever. The action looks really good. If they can keep that up, then I'll be pretty happy.
Well,
Um,
the first the first one, going back, talk about the first
mhm.
one, is it's certainly it certainly had like action in pretty much most of the episodes.
Yeah.
Because oh, should also mention in the first one just to, is Meryl Stryfe isn't a journalist in that one.
No.
They're insurance brokers trying to follow him around and stop him from causing more damage.
Yes, because he is the humanoid typhoon and costs them a fortune.
Yeah, that's that's the story in that one,
Yeah.
rather than the journalists.
Yeah. Like I guess like either way, like I'm not super fussed about that. I want to know more about those characters, and I hope we'll get to
Yeah.
learn a little bit more about them. But
Not to mention,
yeah,
they weren't convinced that that was Vash the Stampede that they met. Even
that's
though
true.
he introduced himself, "Hi, I'm Vash the Stampede," and
Yes.
Millie's like, "Oh,
No.
he's
Meryl. Meryl.
Oh no, Millie.
Oh, you mean in the first one?
In the first one, yeah.
Oh, context, man.
That's what I'm talking about. The first one. And Millie's like, "Oh, ain't he nice, Meryl?" And Meryl's just like, "Pfft, well, he can't be. He's not Vash Stampede. That's crazy talk."
There's less of that in this, but there is a brief moment where they're like, this guy?
Yeah, he seems pretty useless.
Yeah. Anyway, we've managed to do it again. We've managed to talk an hour about a 23-minute long episode.
Oh well, it's 45, 40 odd minutes because we had that 15-minute conversation about something else.
That's true. That's true. I mean, what would this show be without
Context.
segues and no context? But we have done it. We have gotten to the end of another episode of Who's That Anime? This is the start of season 9, believe it or not, and episode 101.
101.
101. We will be back next week with episode 2 of Trigun Stampede. But before we get to that, you can find us if you wish to listen to us, if you're not already listening to us, but you are if you're listening to this. Our home is at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime, where you can listen to us and find us through Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, anywhere where podcasts can be found, or using an RSS feed. We have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Who's That Anime, where we post up the latest episode releases and the occasional anime meme. We have a Discord. The link for that is in the show notes. We also put video versions of this together, which appear on YouTube. Colin painstakingly puts those together, and now it has less time than a 3-week window to work on it, which I'll apologise, but we can get that back if you wish. But either way, we're now up to scratch, so these are probably going to come out more close together, I guess.
But at the same time.
There you go.
Well,
you heard it here first, or maybe you heard it in the video. I don't know.
Whatever way you see it, or hear it,
yep,
it's a thing.
It's happening. Yep.
Yeah.
But you can find that by going to youtube.com and searching for Who's That Anime.
Yeah. Who's That Anime?
We also have a little bit of love for us in video games. So Colin and I both stream on Twitch. Colin at twitch.tv/couchfuel. And myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. I have actually started trying to get things up and running again and streaming for a wee bit, so I might do a bit more of that sometime soon.
Yeah, you were playing some random game last time.
Yeah, Twin Mirror?
Twin Mirror, I think
Twin
it was.
Mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you only were on for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was just on to test the streaming and stuff like that. I wasn't on to play too much.
Yeah. And I think last time I played was till 20 minutes till dawn. That's what I've been playing.
Oh, did you not play more Dark Tide? Or was that before?
No, I've never streamed Dark Tide. Don't stream it when I play Dark Tide. I played Dark Tide, but never streamed it. Only. No.
I think we have streamed it once.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Talking about animation styles and stuff. Just noticed that Guilty Gear Strive is on Game Pass.
Oh, sweet! I'm gonna take a look at that.
Yeah, man, I should play that game. It's wild.
Yeah, I will take a look at that.
Been meaning to buy it, to be honest, but
yeah,
I'll give it a.
Well, should also mention that there is an archive for Couch Fuel and Hail Payment. You can find those both by going to youtube.com and searching for Couch Fuel or Hail Payment.
Yeah,
I believe that's us.
Yeah, that's it is. Yeah, we'll be back next week. Same time, same anime place, anime time, animes, same anime.
Same anime.
Maybe. Yeah, should be.
Probably.
Should be Trigun. Maybe we'll watch the original.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just intersperse it with like episodes of the original. We probably won't. But please, let's not do that. Actually.
Oh man, we should totally do that. Just to.
I don't think we should do that.
That ruins continuity. continuity.
It certainly ruins the space-time continuum.
Yeah, style. But that's our style, man. That's Steinsgate.
Oh, that is very true.
Oh Jesus! I'm just thinking
It
a
was a long 6 months.
Did we not like start Steinsgate around about this time last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've not done a lot since then.
Don't worry, guys. That's not happening
More
this
to
time.
come.
More to
come. More to come. It's all good.
more different
Right.
animes to come.
More different. More things.
Yeah.
We will see you next week.
Yeah. Ciao, guys.
Bye, folks.
What?